You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag because we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. Never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Grouch's Cave, whatever we want to call it. Anyway, we got a great show tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about. Our guest is already here with us, and we're going to go ahead and welcome her in right now. Everybody, give it up for Leslie Dowd joining us back on KLRN Radio. I know I'm excited. Thank you for being here, Leslie.
Hello, Grouchy. I've missed you.
Ah, yes. I love it. I love it. So, you and I have been chit-chatting a little bit, and before we get rolling here, because I told you in the chat that I was all about the big old 2A and free speech and all that good stuff. So the first thing I want to do is...
Stand by. Wait a minute. Wait. You and I need to get a couple of things out of the way before we start.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Number one, we need to establish our preferred pronouns for the show. You know what that means, right?
I think so.
Okay, so the pronoun that you want to be referred to as, because it could be he or him, or it could be something else, and I might want to be referred to something besides she or her. So we have to establish this before we continue.
Well, I am a male of the species and have been all my life, will be for the rest of my life. So he, him is fine with me.
Okay. See, if you ask my opinion, I was going to suggest you go with sexy beast.
Well,
that is too late now.
Well, I mean.
So my preferred pronoun is going to be that hot chick from Twitter. Because we don't really go with it. Reality doesn't matter, right? Science or reality doesn't matter. So whenever you refer to me, instead of saying she or her, just say that hot chick from Twitter, because that's my preferred pronoun for the show.
I can do that.
Okay.
I absolutely can.
Okay. Reality doesn't matter, right? Second thing, number 2. Listen, I didn't understand before I came on the show that we would have this 6-minute delay before we actually got on air. Because if I had known that, not only could I have extended my nap for 3 more minutes, I could have refilled my drink and gone to the bathroom.
Ouch!
Had I known, is that you on Skype, Ricky? Ricky Robinson, is that? Yes, never mind.
I'm still here. I actually produced this show. So yeah.
Never mind. I forgot. I don't know what I was talking about.
You just got bumped way down the guest rotation. No, I'm just playing.
Oh my goodness! I'm not even on the list yet.
Oh yeah, you are. You're on my list.
That's because you haven't emailed the person that I asked you to email yet.
All right. Now I'm going to be blocked.
Nah. Now you're always welcome here.
Okay. Proceed. Sexy
All
beast.
Right. So okay. Just in case we actually hit on anybody's nerves and they want to call in and fuss at us, either at me, the sexy beast, or the hot chick from Twitter, the number to call is 405-648-4798. That's 405-648-4798. Now that we got that clear, I don't want to beat this up because I know everybody in the world's talking about it, but we're going to hit this from a different angle. We're going to discuss a little bit of Harvey, and you already know the angle I'm going to come from. But before we even get there, I do want to take a minute and acknowledge the fine work of the first responders all over South Texas and Louisiana. They are first rate, and I know for a fact that we've even got people from as far over as where I'm at that have gone over to support these people by cooking and bringing supplies and things like that. God bless you all. And I want to acknowledge Jesse Kelly and Aubrey Kelly doing God's work out there. Bless y'all.
God bless you all.
Absolutely. Now, the point that I want to talk about with Harvey is we know that Congress is going to come up with this big relief package for Texas and Louisiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's a lot of people that are bitter about a lot of Texas politicians voting down the relief package for Hurricane Sandy a few years back on the, up in
Mm-hmm.
New York, New Jersey area.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wanting to explore on here is, will Ted Cruz put his policies where his people are and vote down a bill that's pork laden if it comes that way? Or does this make it too hard to turn down because it's at home?
This is a huge question. Grouchy, can you give us the lay of the land about the Sandy bill and why the Texas legislators voted it down?
Well, the problem with the bill for them was that about 60% of the money that was in the bill for Hurricane Sandy relief was not related to Hurricane Sandy relief and was congressional pork. So it was for pet projects in other states and this and that and the other thing. And And then we also still have the matter of CGI Federal, which is the company that was run by Michelle Obama's college friend.
You don't say.
Who is, now get this, they were given $2 billion by the federal government to disseminate for home rebuilding and things like that in Sandy relief. They only disseminated about $600 million of the $2 billion they were given, even still to this date. So how could anybody vote for a pork-laden relief bill and still claim to be on the high, moral ground as far as politics goes?
Right. And what is the nature of a potential relief bill for Harvey? Has that been drafted?
No, they're only talking about it right now. But I mean, the point begs: will Cruz and McCall and all these guys from Texas, will they vote it down if it's pork laden, or is it too dangerous for them and take jobs into their own hands, and they put their morals aside and just vote for this pork laden bill if it comes in that way? I don't know. I would like to see. First of all, I'd like to see the Texas and Louisiana politicians take the lead on drafting the bill. And that way, that would be one way to ensure that it comes in clean. But I would also like to see Trump stand up and demand a clean hurricane relief bill with no pork added.
Well, isn't this the whole thing? Isn't this the whole problem in almost any, I was going to say almost any federal bill and almost any federal legislation that's something sweeping like this, but it has to be the same on the state and local levels. And as I've been talking to you before coming on the program, and as people who know me know, I'm not really big on the legislative politics or even the electoral politics. I'm more of a cultural, political, armchair pundit. But I can't stand how every well-intentioned bill gets weighed down with pork, and then the bill never passes, and then whether you were for the bill or against the bill, now your opposition has ammunition against you, and it makes it all a mess. And this is one of the things that makes me crazy. And so you're making a great example here.
Well, I mean, it's something that's gonna come to a head in the coming weeks or months. I mean, at most weeks, I would hope they get something passed in the next 4 weeks or so to get these people some relief, because they're the ones suffering, not the politicians. And to bring it into your wheelhouse, what a cultural nightmare it must be for these folks that have lost everything but their lives.
Certainly, yeah.
And I know that my part of the goal.
Here's the thing, though. At the end of the day, and I'm sure you're going to want to talk about this, and this has been, thank God, this has been shared far and wide. But the private industry and local government and state government doesn't need to wait around for this nonsense from Congress, from federal legislators.
Well, that's true. They can at least get started. There's no way they can provide the level of financial relief that comes from the feds, though.
Right, but the money can come later,
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, you figure the shelters are going to be open for a long time. There'll be FEMA housing, as soon as they can get it set up in the area. Of course, you have to get the waters reseeded before you can try anything like that. And then today I look at the weather map, and guess what's happening down in the southwest corner of the Gulf of Mexico right now? There's a new storm starting to form.
Isn't that Irma?
No. Irma's out in the Atlantic. This is something completely different. This is like when Harvey crossed the Yucatan Peninsula and then weakened to a storm before it became the big hurricane again. This is sitting right where Harvey was after it crossed the Yucatan.
Oh, so you're saying there's another storm coming right at them?
Well, I don't know what it's going to do. I mean, nobody knows yet. It's not even a tropical storm yet, but you can tell that there is some cyclonic rotation to it. This is the last thing Texas wants to see, even if it was 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's way too much for them right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, just a disaster in every facet you can think of. And these poor people along the immediate coast, they're going to be dealing with downflow from the dumping of rain all up the eastern side of Texas and the western side of Louisiana. All that's going to flow right back down to the coast on them. Mm-hmm. And I hope Congress can do this cleanly without adding anything to it. I'd like to see a clean bill with no coattail items come to the president's desk, get signed, and boom, let's get it enacted.
All right, can you get one bipartisan thing ever? If you want to pass one bipartisan bill ever, how about this one?
Yeah, it should be easy. I mean, it really should. But is New York and New Jersey going to rebel against Texas and Louisiana because of Hurricane Sandy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just everything is, it's really unpredictable now, the motivations. Unfortunately, the motivations of any individual in the federal legislature, or I should say most of them. There is some, in the Freedom Caucus, which I have a little more confidence in, but most of them, like you kind of don't know. And I've become real cynical, more so than I thought I would be. In 2017 with a scare quotes Republican president.
Right. I got you. Can I welcome you to the club? I've been playing the game a little bit longer. I've over the years, I've become a don't care what letters beside your name, praise where it's deserved, feet to the fire where it's deserved. Just do what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Just do the right thing. That's all I ask of all of them. But anyway. Anywho. Now, my social butterfly here, my cultural social butterfly here. I want to talk about something a little closer to you that you might have some deeper insight into than those of us half a country away. Let's talk Antifa.
Oh, those assholes. Okay.
Yeah, them. You know who I mean. Mm-hmm. Now, you made it clear that you had a particular flavor of Antifa you wanted to discuss, yes?
Well, I live in suburban Boston, so I have a little bit of a closer perspective on that, the rally that was a couple of weekends ago. And what happened here, and I was quite frankly shocked about how that whole thing went down. I was shocked.
Well, what is it that we didn't see that we should know?
Well, I have to give you a little background
Sure.
about my environment around here. Okay, so I'm born and bred here in the Massachusetts area. For those of you that live in other parts of the country, look up your electoral county maps, and you will see one state, only one state, that the entire state is blue and not red. The whole state is blue and not red. But that actually belies, and this we could take a whole other show, honey, about how that belies the personal experiences you have around here. But in the meantime, it's really interesting to live around here as a conservative. And again, I'm just giving you a little bit of backstory. My friends and I, both in real life, a little bit in real life, but mostly on like Facebook and stuff, we sort of have some sort of an embargo. We have like a Geneva Convention on Facebook that was never, we never met about it, but it's an unspoken embargo on debating each other on Facebook for our political views. So wow. I post a ton of stuff, and it's very, very classy. I post, and I'll try to make this short because it's tangential to what we're going to talk about, but I think it's important. And I'll tell you why. I will post stuff for, the purpose of not really talking to the very left of people I know, but talking to the really intelligent people who believe they're Democrats, but they believe they're Democrats just because they live their whole lives here. Gotcha. And mostly I post the information to talk to people like myself before I joined Twitter, quite frankly, and befriended yourself and all of our circle of, Twitter folks and the great conservatives that helped inform me to try to save the country. So I post the stuff to try to inform those kind of folks, right? And I know they're listening, but we sort of have an embargo that nobody really debates me anymore on my own Facebook page. And I don't debate anyone else on their own Facebook page, but that's also largely because I can't even look. I can't look. Like, whatever. Okay, whatever. Massachusetts. Okay, whatever. Anyway. So, but now here's where this becomes relevant. So we have this, we have all those atrocities in Charlotte, and I believe that the big atrocity, Charlottesville. Yeah, Charlottesville. Thank you. I think the biggest atrocity was that the police didn't do their job, and it's not about the men and women on the ground. The police leadership or the city leadership told the police to just stand down and allow the violence to happen. And if there was an order for the police to make order, then these last 2 weeks would be completely different.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
So there's that. And then around here, there's a lifetime of virtue signaling where you have, a few days later, after all of that was starting to calm down, now you have a previously scheduled, quote unquote, free speech rally on Boston Common. This was scheduled many, many months before that chaos. But what is going on now is that the left and certainly their media lapdogs are trying to pile on the outrage. And hey, we're in Massachusetts, so what seems to be what would have been an innocuous rally got targeted as an alt-right, racist, crazy Nazi thing, and it really never was that to begin with. And even I was kind of fooled about it on the same day because, unfortunately, the organizers didn't really ever have a cohesive message to begin with, and they didn't have a cohesive, strong message after all that craziness to say, look, here's who we are, here's what we are standing for, and here's what we're not standing for. Here's what we're for, here's what we're against. They didn't really come out and say, look, everybody calm down. We're just about free speech. This is our specific message. so everybody be cool. And they didn't
Yeah.
really do that. And the other part is that there was, I guess, one or two scheduled speakers who could be characterized as alt-right speakers. However, it's so what, right?
Right.
Another scheduled speaker is a gentleman by the name of Shiva Ayadurai, who is a scientist and entrepreneur from India who is challenging our Senator Elizabeth Warren for Massachusetts Senate. He was a scheduled speaker too.
Well, there you go.
There were a variety of speakers, and at the end of the day, it turned out to be, and again, they just didn't get their message out in the right way, turned out to be just sort of a very generic conservative free speech rally. Maybe there were some alt-right people there, maybe not, whatever. And at the end of the day, there were 24 people there. There were like less than 30 people there for the rally, and there were 40,000 counter protesters.
Right. Yeah.
For what? For
right.
what?
Well,
For what?
here's what they didn't get out of the whole thing, taking in the info. Like you were saying, the cohesive message about who they were and what they were for didn't come out until almost 2 weeks later in the Washington Times, when you find out that this, like you said, small group is actually made up of registered Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and Libertarians.
And here's my real problem. I have two problems with this. First of all, speaking locally, I can talk to you. I really want to talk to you after the break about the goddamn virtue signaling around here, about the suburban upper middle class virtue signaling around here is off the hook. And the second thing is I'm not happy in general about the heckler's veto going on, which certainly happened here, that people like myself, I wouldn't have gone to this rally because I didn't know about the rally. I would have loved to go to kind of document stuff, but we're all staying away because I don't have time in my life to fend somebody off from beating the crap out of me.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to dive into that when we come back, because it is the bottom of the hour and we do have to take that break because, Rick says so. But anyway, everybody stay tuned. And when we come back, we're going to talk about suburban Boston virtue signaling with these.
Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
America, you and me, ain't that America? Something to see, baby, ain't that America?
All right. Yeah. Pink houses. We're back. I love me some Mellencamp.
These breaks.
Yes, I know. So when we left, we were getting ready to dive into some suburban virtue signaling. Take it away, you sexy lady from Twitter.
That hot chick from Twitter.
Yeah, you're that too.
Let me tell you something. Listen,
he's old. He gets a C for effort. Leave him alone.
You can be incarcerated.
I did not mean to mispronoun you.
You can be incarcerated for that, playa.
So can you, because you didn't just call him sexy beast, you called him playa. So just throwing that out there.
That's not a pronoun.
Well,
get off my show.
All right. Virtue signal. I'm going to laugh and cry at the same time.
Will you stifle yourself?
Exactly.
As my Skype signal gets cut off.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, thanks very much to LA Dowd for joining us.
No one's cutting you off.
All right, so here's the deal around here, right? I've had a very interesting and educational evolution with my local friends and social media friends in real life, family in real life, and social media friends around here. And I have to say, it's been generally wonderful until, and I don't want to say until recently, but now it's getting creepy. And again, like it kind of got heavy during the 2012 election when we're all kind of being very emotional and feeling our way in there and whatever. But at the end of the day, even though the Obama won the presidency, there was so much grace by everyone who voted for him in my social media life. And naturally, there was a lot of grace by me who voted for somebody else, and it was just beautiful. And then again, over the course of time, over the last 7 years, there's sort of been this embargo that I'm talking about. And it's not the same with everybody around here, but me and my particular social media family and friends, like, we just put our stuff out there and we don't debate on our Facebook. Once in a while, maybe we debate in person, but whatever, but it's just very graceful and respectful and wonderful. But now, so Trump wins the election, and I didn't vote for him. Grouchy, you know who I voted for, right?
No, I don't.
I voted for Ronald Reagan's zombie.
Nice write-in.
You know this. And on the undercard, Sweet Meteor of Death as vice president.
Well, absolutely. I thought everybody voted for Sweet Meteor of Death until they announced Trump won.
Right. So it's literally on my literally on my ballot.
That's not.
I voted for. So fine. So, so he won and whatever. I was very much an ever Trumper. But he won. So here we go. And I got to say, I'm about 50-50 with him right now. I don't mind a lot of the policies. I mind a hell of a lot the communication and the, every you're fired, you come in, whatever. And that's not what this show is about. But anyway, around here, like, as soon as that happened, now I have the women at work going like, hey, Les, are you going to come for the Women's March this weekend? And I had no idea. Grouchy, listen to me. I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, March? March for what? And this is verbatim. I'm like, March for what? March? Women's March? We are living in the freest country at the freest time with the most rights and the most power in the world for women. What the hell are you marching for?
There you go.
And the girl and the woman, very close friend of mine at the job, said, oh, you really think so? Okay.
Oh,
and I said, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you think? And she just walked away. And so now, and at that point, I'm like, okay, something's different now. So now it's like, and then, so that weekend, there was a massive women's march around the country, certainly in Boston and certainly in suburban Boston. And I put a lot of, I shit all over it on my Facebook with, no responses and no likes and whatever. Cause I'm like, you people are crazy. Like, and the thing is, I know that plenty of those women that I know who are marching are immigrants from other countries.
Okay.
That don't, go ahead.
Let's stop there for a second because you are not from another country, but you do have a heritage from another country, yes?
Yes, I'm Lebanese descent. All of my grandparents immigrated here from Lebanon.
Okay. See, and then I have half of my grandparents actually, two of my grandparents were direct immigrants. One is descendant of an immigrant and one is Native American.
Right, you're Mexican.
See, we could do a regular show. We could do a regular show and call it the Minority Report.
That's awesome.
I mean, just saying. So, I mean, we know a little bit about this side of it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, but it's, and it's not even, please, I have plenty to say about being a quote unquote minority or whatever. But I just cannot believe these women around me with the goddamn lattes who make six figures are really going to schlep around Boston for what? Because the guy that happened to be elected said about where he had a bad interview. He had a bad interview in a locker room. I cannot figure it out. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And nobody will tell me. And please, and I was all over all these women that day. I'm like, please, can anybody tell me what you're marching for?
Right.
What rights are you marching for that we don't have? And so my point is, I see an analog to the Boston, to the Boston thing that happened, the reaction to that free speech rally. And I do lay some blame on that rally for not putting out a clear message about what they were for and what they were not for. And I do blame them, but they don't know. They scheduled this 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago. 40,000 people. Get the hell out of here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's goddamn Boston. It's Boston. Home of Harvard, home of MIT. Are you really afraid? And I'm quoting my beloved Michael Graham, who has just moved home, who is a wonderful radio host, writer, columnist at the Boston Herald. He's like, congratulations. You really scared away the Nazi hordes of New England.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing? And I think it's the same thing. And I think this is why, honest to God, Grouchy, this is why I go on the air. Like, I can't do anything to influence anything about North Korea shooting Shaquille O'Neal or whoever over Japan. I can influence somebody who wants to virtue signal in my neighborhood, in my town, in my community. What did you go out there for, man? What did you go out there for? Are you so damn dumb that you think that, like, you're a movement? Oh, I'm a movement. I live in Natick, Massachusetts, and my girlfriends and I are all going to get together and we're going to protest. We're going to go to Boston and what are you going to protest? We're going to protest hate.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the hate you're going to protest? There are going to be Nazis and white nationalists on Boston Common. How do you know that? Well, I heard it.
It must be true. It was on the internet.
It was on the. It's like I heard. No, my girlfriend told me. So we're gonna stop. I'm gonna put the kids. Just gonna put the kids at my mom's house, and then we're gonna go stop at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, but we really like Starbucks. And then we're gonna go to the Common, and there's gonna be 20,000 of us, and we are gonna overpower those haters. Right? This is my city. This is a city. This is a city. And so the reality is, and I'm going to wrap this up because I know I'm talking too long, but the reality is what happened is that you had 20 people there. And like I said, one of the featured speakers is this Indian guy, which I think is goddamn hilarious because he's an Indian trying to unseat the fake Native American Indian.
That is hilarious.
Awesome. Which is awesome. But it's like you don't even know what are you there for? You're there to virtue signal, and I think this is like I can talk about this forever because I think this is like your new religion. Your new religion is you don't have to be accountable in your life. You can just virtue signal because especially on the left, a little bit around the world, but especially on the left, to say if I'm against the right things, then I'm a good person.
Well,
if I can show up in person or show up on my social media against the right things, then I'm a good and virtuous person. And that's shitty.
It is. It's sad too. Now, I don't know if you saw this today, but Berkeley has now agreed to allow Shapiro to speak. So Ben's going to Berkeley.
Better.
But they made him put down a $15,000 deposit so that they could protect him with enough police force. So
right.
Now,
so here's where this is going. And forgive me for interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
But hey. Anyway, I'll get into the Kamala Harris story another time. But anyway, but that's the thing that at the end of the day, that you got all this virtue signaling here, 40,000 latte sippers showing up. Well, you know what? 2,000 of them were far left and or Antifa violent agitators.
Right.
So when these 20 to 30 people who actually had the courage to show up, Lord knows how many didn't show up, just like I didn't show up. I thought I was going to show up just to cover it. I'm like, look, I don't need this in my life. Me. I don't need this in my life. So when they were escorted off, then the violence toward the police started. And there were throwing urine, bottles of urine. What? Like, who?
Yep.
Like,
who does
seriously,
that?
you like pee in a jar and then throw it at the police? Who are you? Urine, bottles of urine, rocks, whatever. About 30 people were arrested, but the police reports were that there were 2,000 incidents of violence. 2,000 in my Boston. So this is, this is some bullshit, and I don't like this, like this heckler's veto, which is what you're talking about now with Ben Shapiro and whatever. And there was, the stuff in Phoenix and whatever. I'm really not happy. I'm very proud of the Boston police because at least they weren't told to stand down.
Right.
At least they didn't stand down. I'm very proud of them.
Well, here's what I want to know.
And their leadership.
Yeah, but here's what I want to know with Shapiro. They're making Ben pay $15,000 for security. Now, if they issue a permit to these protesters, shouldn't they have to pay $15,000 as well?
Well, yes, that would be logical. Yeah.
If not, you're basically making somebody pay to exercise their right of free speech.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
Which to me seems, great. You want to say it's all security? Let's say it's all for security and clean up after the thing's over with, but both sides should pay. This is not a one-sided thing.
Well, look, we know Berkeley's totally filthy.
Well,
that whole situation is filthy.
They're also known as the home of free speech. I mean, this is where
no more
erupted. I mean, not anymore. They've gone from one side of the coin to the other, all in the name of progressivism.
And I applaud Ben Shapiro. I'm a big fan of his. I applaud him going there. And if I were he, I would pay any amount of money for the first time to get himself in there and safely deliver his message. I think that's a big deal for the first time. But again, like this heckler's veto is really some bullshit, and I'm very unhappy about how that's shutting down stuff, because the thing is, again, in this situation in Boston, it was a pre-planned event, and the media and the left just targeted it as a Nazi alt-right thing, and that's never what it was. And I don't like this. And this is a big problem. And the question is, the question that I'm struggling with is, how do you fight it now? How do you fight it without being violent back?
Right.
And the other thing I'm struggling with is how, again, I'm sitting around here as one individual. All right, you and I have a voice. We have a voice on social media. We have a voice in our social circles. We probably have more of a voice more than your average person. What is the biggest bang that we can get for our individual buck? And I'm troubled by it. What can we do? Yeah. I know some dudes. I know some dudes all around the country who are harumphing about this and are like, Civil War, or if they want to come after me, but that's not going to help us.
No, it's not. And the trick, and I hate calling it a trick, but because it's just so old fashioned, maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm too old fashioned and don't see it for what it is. I think the real object is to just sit down with somebody one-on-one and have a discussion. You don't always have to agree with the person, but you should be able to lay out your thoughts and your ideas without being called a Nazi. Because let's face it. Let's find a Jewish concentration camp survivor and ask them if they think there's any Nazis running around in the United States right now. They would laugh at the thought that these morons are Nazis.
Indeed.
Now, they're morons, but they're not Nazis.
Well, look, some of them are Nazis, but the thing is that the rhetoric on the left has become so extreme that we're all Nazis. We're all Nazis. I'm a Nazi. You're a Nazi. We're not even white, but we're white supremacists and whatever. So I feel like I kind of give up on communicating with them, and I'm trying to reach the people that would still like to think.
Yeah.
And I think if we want to make the long game, if you want to talk about the long game, which I think this is really a long game, and that makes me sad. But I'll get back to that. It makes me really sad. But if you want to talk about the long game, we have to get back the educational system.
Oh yeah. That's a whole show in itself.
We have to get that back first. Then we have to get back, the media or whatever. But I think that's where we lost, is the educational system. And I'll say that because that's where I learned to love. Well, my family. So here's the we can't make families. My family is where I learned to love America first. But right after that, I learned it from my educational system.
Yep.
We have to get that back first.
I couldn't agree more.
And you know what? Talking about, for me personally, talking about North Korea shot a bomb here or there, it's so overwhelming to think about everything that's going on. And I just want to suggest to people that want to make a difference that I think we should all focus on what can I, as an individual, make an impact on most powerfully.
There you go.
I'm going to stop talking now. Sorry, Anna.
No. And we're coming back around to the top of it, but there's a reason why I wanted you on the show, Leslie, and it's just that reason, because you bring a viewpoint that we don't normally hit on. It's a great viewpoint, and it's worth exploring. So before we wrap up tonight, I want you to tell everybody out there that's familiar with me and not you where they can find you on social media, and maybe you can have somebody to talk to like that. Did we lose her again?
Oh, sorry.
Nope, she's still there.
Sorry, I still can't work this new Skype. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So, did you hear me or?
I did. Sorry.
Okay.
I am at LA Dowd on Twitter, LADOWD.
That is fantastic. That is the hot chick from Twitter for those scoring at home.
We don't want to microaggress me.
You don't even want to go there with me. I don't do anything micro.
Oh my God.
Anyway. Yeah. Well, anyway, Leslie, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure as usual. And I look forward to interacting with you further on Twitter. And maybe we can do this again and, put something even bigger together. And who knows, maybe we could pilfer some time from somebody one night and do a 2-hour deal.
Minority Report.
Minority Report. That's right. That's right. Folks, she's Leslie Dowd. I'm the Grouch. If you like the show, tell your friends. If your friends like the show, you likely need new ones, but they and you are welcome every week right here with me on KLRN Radio. Stay tuned for Jesse's POV next, followed by the Stafford Voice, followed by America Off the Rails. God bless you and good night, everybody.
My honor. My honor, graduate.
With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're American.